Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. If I look vaguely familiar, it is because I just videoed one video and you'll see this one before or after. Before I get started, if you would, like, subscribe, comment, and share. And today we're talking about books. Actually, I have two. I have an article from a book to tell you about that is going to be so fun. You might like the idea for yourself, or maybe for somebody else, or you would like to see somebody else do it. And then I have a book that I got at the thrift store. You'll see somewhere soon, and you'll see that I'm hauling this one. This is hashtag Thursday BookTube. This is hosted by our wonderful friend Daphne over at My Mountain Home and Kitchen, and Patty at Life with Patty. They are both awesome ladies, friends of mine, and I am so happy to call them friends. And they both have wonderful channels. Check them both out. Patty has been an inspiration when it comes to coloring. Encouraged me a lot last year. She did the hashtag Artisan Journal, Prop 25, Prop 20, whatever. Artisan Journal last year. I didn't join it this year, but it's been a fun series. And you can always go back and look at mine because it has a lot of personal pictures in it and all of those kind of things. And me telling the little bits about my life. And the other one, sorry, I'm getting stuck here. The other one, Daphne at My Mountain Home and Kitchen. She is an inspiration. She lives up in the hills a little bit, and she has a cabin that she lives in, kind of a little home. And then she has an Airbnb cabin that she rents out. And that's always fun. She tells about all kinds of living up in the hills and her grocery hauls and cooking and preserving, more so than I do here. But she has a great channel. You will find her very interesting. In the AARP magazine, I refer that to me. I get it free. And, you know, I can't tell you I go along with all their policies, but they have a lot of great articles in their books and a lot of information for seniors. So with that being said, this one shows a little lady. See this lady? And see, that's a van right there. I thought this was so interesting. The bookstore that comes to you. Rita Collins never dreamed how far her traveling shop would take her. When she started thinking about doing this idea, she was in a small town in Eureka, Montana, and they didn't have a bookstore. That was in 2014. And so she took a course on how to start a bookstore. When you start telling people your dreams, many times they don't see it like you do. And they say, oh, our town wouldn't support a bookstore. You know, she'd have to pay rent on a building and all that kind of thing. So she started thinking about what she would do. And she landed on the idea of traveling used bookstore. That was probably smarter than new. And now you remember the bookmobiles that they used to take to the different schools? I remember that when I was growing up. Within 6 months, she found a used van. And her friends and some of her ones that she knew jumped in to help her. They donated books. They helped do a little build out of it. And she thought, well, the worst thing that can happen is if this don't work, I can always sell the van. But sure enough, it worked. At first, she sat around just her county, and before she knew it, she'd went to Indiana and Tennessee and South Dakota and California. She said, I've logged in 100,000 miles in nearly 40 states. Almost always staying with friends or friends of friends. Okay, that's good. If the van could talk, I think she'd say she feels intrepid. Going to all these places? Okay. Then she said, last year I traded my van in for a newer one. And it fits 700 books. Hardbacks are $9. Paperbacks are $7. Kids' books are $1. I like to keep it simple. A customer once asked, you do realize this is the first edition of Dune? Do you know the book Dune? I said, I'm happy for you. All different subjects, from travel to spirituality to language to cooking to the fantasy world. And there's the kitty going up in my tree. Huh, it's a neighbor's kitty. So I just thought that was really interesting, and I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. Traveling book, and she didn't just do it just in her area. I thought that was so interesting because I wanted to show you this book too. Now, in this, published by Pickle Publishing Company in 1990. And with my time being like it is, I'm going to have to come back and tell you about this book a little more later. I do want to tell you one recipe in here that I found very interesting. There's a lot of them here. And remember, this is vegan. Yeah, I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. Pescatarian, I think they call it, because I do eat tuna and fish. Okay, this one was corn cakes. This one sounded really interesting, and that I'm going to leave you at that because my video is getting a little longer than I want it to be. It's corn cakes. Whiz in your blender until smooth. 1 16-ounce can of corn with the liquid. Only use 3/4 cup of the liquid. You add 1 cup of water, 1 cup of rolled oats, 2 tablespoons of sugar or honey, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, then you pour into a mixing bowl. Mix the following in: a cup of cornmeal, a cup of cornmeal, and then you mix it up. You fry the batter in barley oil. Now, I don't know about that. I've never had barley oil. For best results, make small cakes. Serve with your favorite topping. They liked apple syrup. There's a recipe in here for that. And they also like peanut butter on them. Now, that's just one idea of one of the recipes here. And I'm going to leave you with that. Go check Daphne and Patty out. You will find their channels wonderful. And I will look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Don't forget, Jesus loves you.